Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pat and today I'm bringing you guys my 2020 reading goals / stats and also my 2021 reading goals. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so my reading goals for 2020 are read 70 books, read 3 nonfiction books, read 3 classics, read more poem books, keep up reading stats and notes, and for book 2 I aimed to write and film review videos, to do more tags, and to keep up the reading stats and notes, plus Goodreads review for at least 2 sentences. Alright, let's get started with going through the goals and seeing if I actually, achieved it. Okay, so my 2020 reading goal was 70 books, and I read a total of 107 books that are on Storygraph. I did finish, I want to say 2 web novels as well that are not on like actual website. It's not listed there, so I want to count that as 109, so almost 110 books for 2020, which I'm actually very excited about. My initial goal was 70 books, and then I changed it. No, 70 books. And I didn't really change it. I didn't change it because I didn't want to keep changing it as the year goes by. I just wanted to be able to read at least 70 books for this year, and if I do more than that, if my pace is a lot faster than that, then be it, but I'm not changing it because that's my initial goal, and I don't want to pressure myself to reading. I don't know, if I changed this to 100 books, I would have been pressured to read because I would be going over only 7 books, but still, I really enjoy this. And yes, so for 2021, my reading goal would be I think 50 books. So that's gonna be around 4 books per month. So 1 book per week almost. Or, 1 book per week, 1.5 books per week. So I think that will be a really good goal for me. So the reason why I have a lower reading goal for this year is because I've changed kind of my reading habits. I'm reading a lot more manhwas online now, and I don't know how long that's going to last. I feel like it's gonna last, I think, for a good few years because I'm really enjoying manhwas right now. So that has been like a majority of the books, or majority of the time that I'm reading. And also, I don't want to pressure myself. Right now, we are in the middle of a pandemic, so I don't want to pressure myself even more than I do when it comes to reading books. I just want to read books because sometimes I'm the type of person who puts, puts books on hold because I don't want to read it while it's highly hyped and have, high expectations for it and be disappointed. So I want to kind of change that one too as I go through. But again, 50 books for this year, I'm not changing that. If ever I go through like 50 books in like the first half of the year, I'm not going to change it. So if I make the 50 books early on, great. If I don't, great still. I don't want to be pressured by the reading goal because I used to be a lot back then. So now I'm just like 50 books per year, that's great. Alright, but then I feel like if I have that, that means that I'm not going to be forcing myself to read books that I don't feel like reading, and force myself or like motivate myself to actually read books I do want to read and not save them. So let's see, the next one is 3 nonfiction books. I read 9 nonfiction books for this year. So I read Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, a little bit of astrology, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Intuitive Eating Workbook, so you want to talk about race, The Nature Fix, Into the Magic Shop, Intuitive Eating, and Invisible Women as well. So I read quite a few nonfiction books this year, which I'm very proud of. My initial goal was only 3, and I did 3 times that, which I'm very happy about. And I feel like it's a year for nonfiction books this year for me. But I still actually have quite a few books that I do want to go through. I have like a nonfiction stack right here that I do want to go through, and a few more that I don't physically have. So I need to go through those because these are books that I do want to read because I bought them. So that means I do want to read them. So again, it's one of those things where I have to motivate myself to actually not put this, put this on hold, because why? Alright, the next one is 3 classics. I read 5 classic books. I read The Story of Dr. Dolittle, 1984 by George Orwell, The Yellow Wallpaper, Little Women, and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So I read those. I still have a few classic books that I do want to read. Like I have Books of Earthsea, I believe that's a classic. And I also have a few more up here that you can't really see. Let me show you. So I have up there Moby Dick, Sense and Sensibility, Jane Eyre, and I have the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen. So those are my classics. Plus, yeah, Percy right there. And I have a few more that I do want to read as well. Like, I want to read all of Jane Austen's work. I have to acquire those first though. So, but I'm very excited to read those. I have to motivate myself to read these books and put them on hold and like save them. I have a lot of books that I need to get to. I don't have time to be saving these books. So I'm very proud of that as well because I read more than I wrote down. Okay, more poem books. This one, I only read one poem book, which is The Poetics. I'm not very sad about it. I feel like I definitely need to look through more poem books for me that I feel like I want to read so that I can actually read it and have a list of books that I do want to read. So I still want to read more poetry books or maybe books written in verse, but I don't want to like force myself to read them, especially if it's not something that I'm interested in. But that's still one of the goals that I do want to have for the next year. Did I mention my new goals? Okay, let's see. Let me write it down too. Okay, 2021. So 50 books. For the nonfiction, I want to put down 3 to 5 because I feel like I'm going to read more than that. But again, I don't want to force myself or pressure myself to do that. Classics. Again, 3 classics. I feel like it's a good number. More poem books. So let's just write this down as 2 poem books. I feel like I can find 2 poem books that I do want to read very soon. And reading stats and notes. I did keep up the reading stats because it's very easy. I'm actually using Storygraph right now. I did not keep up my reading notes that I do have on my planner, the reading planner. It's something that I also want to keep doing, but I feel like I just want to do it to certain books, either books that I really liked or really didn't like, just so that I can have like notes on what I didn't like about the book or not. So that one, I'm not very much into it, but important reads, important notes on some books, that's it. I don't really want to do a lot of that anymore because pressure. Reading stats, that's very easy to do because the Storygraph website already does it for you, so I don't have to do a separate or go to a separate thing. That would be fun to do, but if I'm gonna be reading 70 plus books in a month, I might be a little too lazy to do that, or 70 books in a year, I might be a little too lazy to do that, but still, something that I would maybe occasionally do for certain books, maybe write down notes and stuff. Overall, the Storygraph site is already doing that for me, so I don't know why I need to input more work if the Storygraph is already doing it for me. Next one, booktube goals. This one I definitely did not do. I didn't film any reading review videos, but I do want to do it. I don't know how if I'm going to do it, but I do want to try it this year at least once. So 1 review, in-depth review of a book, and also 1 in-depth review or reaction video to a movie that is either very popular or is based on. We'll see what's going to happen. Next one, more tags. I didn't do a lot of tag videos this year. I think I did 1 or 2, but again, it's not really something that I felt like I doing, so I don't really feel bad about not doing that. So there wasn't really a tag that I wanted to do. If I did, I already did it. So yeah. Next, keep up reading stat and notes plus good readers review at least 2 sentences. Now this one's changing. I changed that one because I'm not doing Goodreads anymore. I completely stopped using it a few months ago, and I've been doing or only using Storygraph. I still have it. I still do some stuff over there, but I mostly just do Storygraph. Now for the reviews of the books, I do Copile now. So if you guys don't know what Copile is, I'm going to link a video down below from the original creator of it. Also, what it means, pretty much. So it's Copile stands for characters, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment. So you rate, pretty much you do like ratings for each of those for the book, then you tally it all over, and then you convert it into your own rating system or into your personal rating system if you want. So I'm doing those for most of the books that I do have. Sometimes Copile doesn't really work for some books, like some nonfiction books. It doesn't really work, or like poem books doesn't really work, but I kind of have like that format in my head, and then I convert it to the 5-star ratings I use, And the thing about Storygraph too is that you can input the star rating that you have. So for example, if you want to do like 4.15 stars, 4.10 stars, you can do it. So yeah, that is it for these reading goals. So those are reading goals and my new reading goals for this month, for this year. I can't talk. I've been talking for 40 minutes now because of my top 20 books. So again, my new goals, let's go over them. For 2021, my reading goals are 50 books, 3 to 5 nonfiction books, 3 classics, 2 poem books, and important notes on some books that I feel like are needed. And for book 2, 1 in-depth review or 1 in-depth reaction to a movie. So, do I want to add anything more? Or I want to reread some books that I really enjoy, like the Sweet Valley series. Those are like the books that I really enjoyed reading back then. So I want to reread at least 1 or 2 of those as well, because I reread Stargirl last year. But yeah, that is it for my reading goals for 2021. Again, I don't want to be strict about the goals. These are great just, you know, at the start of the year, so you have an idea of how you want your reading to be, especially if you're going to introduce like new genres or new forms of literature that you want to add, like for me, poems and nonfiction. I don't really read those a lot, so I want to keep adding those to my regular reading because I want to add more of those, because I am very much interested in those genres and those writing styles. So yes, that is it for this video. When it comes to goals, I've learned throughout the years, it's something that at the start of the year, it can feel like you can feel very motivated. But then as the months go by, even just the first month, you're just gonna be like throwing it away. So if you really want to change or have goals for your life, especially, it should be something that you start whenever you feel like it's time for you to start, and not as at a specific moment in time. Especially like New Year's resolutions and goals for me have just been like, they feel good at the start, but then when you start not meeting the goals that you have, especially if they're like really high goals, you can feel very unmotivated to keep doing it. So for me, I just don't put myself up to too much. I write it down, like things that I want to eventually do for the rest of the year, but I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. These are just things to remind me that, oh, I've always wanted to do this. So, you know, it just reminds me that there's a lot of things that I still want to try and do. And whenever I feel like it's the right time, then do it. You don't have to specifically set certain goals, like certain numbered goals. It's good to have those, but it shouldn't be something that pressures you to do a lot. So if you want to do it for yourself, then do it for yourself, and don't stress yourself out trying to do it for yourself, you know? So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and let me know what your goals are and what your thoughts are on goals and resolutions as well down below, if you agree or disagree, etc. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you on my next one.